Hey everyone, before we dive in, just wanted to remind you to subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, and you can even find us on Amazon now too. That way you won't miss any of our deep dives. So today we're tackling something I think we all think about at some point. Reinventing your career after 30 years. I mean, you've got experience and all that, but the world's changing so fast. How do you even begin to?
Yeah.
Like, what does that even look like? And we're going to be using Philippe Waterloo's as sort of a case study here. He's been thinking about this a lot lately, and we've got a ton of research and articles to help us kind of figure this out.
It is interesting because we always talk about career changes early on,
Yeah.
but I think hitting that 30-year mark brings a whole different set of doubts and opportunities. Like you've got all this knowledge, but maybe your priorities have shifted.
Yeah.
What seemed exciting at 22 might feel, well, kind of stale now.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not like starting over. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you use what you already have? So where
Yeah.
do we even begin with that? A lot of our sources seem to agree that doubt is the first step. That seems kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It is counterintuitive, but it's also incredibly common. And you're right, it's not about like wallowing in doubt. It's about recognizing that doubt can be a signal. It's telling you to pause and reassess. So instead of pushing those feelings down, what if we use them as a springboard? And that's where some of those actionable strategies come in, like journaling to identify what those nagging feelings actually are, or doing a skills assessment to see what you've actually mastered over the years, or even informational interviews to explore different fields.
Okay, so let's say you've done all that
Yeah.
and you've got a better sense of where the doubts are coming from. The next hurdle seems to be figuring out what you actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
How do you rediscover those aspirations, especially after decades in a particular field?
One of the things that struck me in the research was this emphasis on values, not just any values, but how our values change over time. Maybe early in your career, you were all about climbing that ladder, proving yourself, but now maybe you want more autonomy or work that feels meaningful, you know, something that contributes to something bigger than yourself. Figuring out what those core values are today is a crucial step.
Right.
Huh.
And I can see how that would be powerful, but it's still pretty abstract, isn't it? How do you actually connect those values to concrete career options?
It's about asking yourself some tough questions. What does meaningful work actually look like for you? Are you drawn to creative expression? Do you want to lead a team? Do you crave hands-on problem solving? And the answers to those questions can start to narrow down your focus.
Yeah, this is where I think people get stuck. They've got 30 years of experience in one area, and it can feel like starting from scratch in anything else. But all of the sources we have are adamant that experience, even if it seems unrelated, it's actually a huge asset.
It absolutely is. And the key is to think about your experience in terms of transferable skills. So let's say you spent years in like a high-pressure corporate job. You probably have incredible organizational skills, project management abilities, maybe even leadership experience. Those are valuable in any field, whether you're launching a startup, going freelance, or even pursuing something completely different. I actually know someone who transitioned from being a corporate lawyer to a successful baker. And their attention to detail and ability to manage complex processes, honed over years of legal work, were directly applicable to running their own bakery.
That's a great example. So instead of focusing on that specific job title, you're looking at those underlying skills and how those can be adapted.
Exactly. It's about seeing those years of work not as a limitation, but as a toolbox. And honestly, sometimes the most unexpected combinations are the most successful ones. Think about Philip Waterloos, who we're using as our inspiration here. He's got this background in tech drones and podcasting. On the surface, those might seem like completely separate things.
But what if you could combine them? I mean, that's where it gets really interesting, right? He's got this artistic side. He's passionate about visual storytelling. So imagine using drones to capture those stories and then incorporating AI to create something truly unique and cutting edge.
I think we're onto something here. Before we dive into Philippe specifically, let's just kind of wrap up some of the general advice we talked about for career reinvention so we can use it as a framework for his possibilities. So we talked about embracing doubt as a catalyst for change, using it to guide you toward a new path. We talked about rediscovering your aspirations and how understanding how your values have evolved can play a crucial role in shaping your career goals. We talked about leveraging your experience. We highlighted how transferable skills can be applied in unexpected and exciting ways. And we even touched on how experimentation can help you test the waters and find what truly resonates with you.
Perfect. Now let's apply this framework to Philippe's case and delve into the exciting possibilities that await him.
So we've got Philippe, who's clearly fascinated by technology, specifically drones.
Mhm.
And he's got this knack for communication through his podcast. It's almost like he's got all these puzzle pieces, and we just got to figure out how they fit together.
Right. And those puzzle pieces include the insights that we just discussed. So let's start with embracing doubt. Maybe Philippe is feeling that itch, that sense that there's something more he could be doing with his skills. He's already successful, but perhaps he's craving a new challenge, a way to push his creativity even further.
It's about channeling that doubt into a sense of possibility. What if instead of just flying drones, he used them to create art? I mean, we're talking aerial photography that goes beyond just pretty landscapes. Imagine him capturing like the urban sprawl from a whole new perspective, highlighting the intricate patterns and the hidden beauty within what seems like chaos.
Oh, I love that. And that's where his tech background comes in. He could use AI, maybe even something like those style transfer algorithms,
Yeah.
to transform those aerial shots into something totally unique. Like, imagine a cityscape, but rendered in the style of Van Gogh, or a swirling abstract piece inspired by drone footage of a forest.
Exactly. He's not just a drone pilot, he's a digital artist, using these tools to create something new. And this ties into rediscovering his aspirations. Maybe what he's truly passionate about is pushing the boundaries of visual art, using technology as his brush.
And let's not forget his podcasting experience. He could document this whole artistic journey, share his process, his challenges, his inspirations with a wider audience. He could even interview other artists who are using technology in innovative ways, creating a whole community around this idea.
That's brilliant. It wouldn't just be about his work, it would be about showcasing the possibilities of this intersection between art and technology. And that's where leveraging experience comes in. His podcasting skills, his knowledge of audio editing, interviewing. All of that becomes invaluable in creating a compelling and insightful show.
It's like everything he's done up to this point is converging into this perfect storm of creativity and innovation. And it's all driven by those core values we talked about.
Maybe he's driven by a desire to create beauty, to inspire others to push the limits of what's possible.
And this is just scratching the surface. Think about the practical applications of his skills. He could partner with architects or urban planners, offering drone footage and AI-enhanced visualizations to help them design better cities. He could even get involved in environmental projects, using drones to monitor deforestation or track wildlife populations.
So instead of just documenting the world, he's actively shaping it, using his skills to make a tangible difference. There's something really powerful about that. Absolutely. And it speaks to something else we touched on earlier, finding meaning and helping others. Maybe that's another aspect of Philippe's reinvention. Perhaps he realizes that his skills and passion can be used to contribute to something bigger than himself.
So we've explored Philippe's potential in the realm of art and technology. We even touched on environmental applications. But what about the helping others aspect that we discussed earlier? This is where things get really interesting because it opens up a whole new set of possibilities for Philippe. So we've talked about Philippe potentially blending art technology and drones.
Right.
But what if he took a turn towards using his skills for, like, social good?
That's where his passion could really take flight. I mean, think about it. Drones aren't just for capturing stunning visuals. They're increasingly being used in disaster relief search and rescue operations, even delivering medical supplies to remote
Oh,
areas.
wow. That's a side of drone technology I hadn't even considered. And it fits perfectly with that desire to help others, to make a real difference in the world.
Exactly. Imagine Philippe using his expertise to train first responders in using drones effectively during emergencies, or partnering with humanitarian organizations to provide aerial support for their missions.
It's almost like a whole new career path opens up,
Mm.
one that combines his technical skills with a deep sense of purpose.
Hmm.
And it goes beyond just flying the drones. He could use his communication skills to raise awareness about these applications, advocate for responsible drone use, maybe even inspire others to get involved in this field.
Now you're talking about real impact. And that's what's so exciting about this whole idea of reinvention. It's not just about finding a new job, it's about aligning your skills and passions with something that really resonates with you.
I think that's what makes Philippe's case study so fascinating. It shows that even when you've achieved a level of success, there's always room for growth, for exploration, for finding new ways to contribute.
And it's a reminder that reinvention isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery, of adapting to new challenges, of finding new ways to make a meaningful impact.
It all comes back to that idea of embracing doubt, being willing to question your current path and explore new possibilities. You never know what incredible opportunities might be waiting just around the corner.
And sometimes those opportunities lie in combining your seemingly different interests and experiences in a way that creates something truly unique and impactful.
Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of career reinvention using Philip Waterloo's as our inspiration.
Yeah, we've explored everything from blending technology and art to using drones for social good, highlighting how even established skills can be repurposed for exciting new ventures.
And remember, it's never too late to redefine your career, to rediscover your passions, and to create a path that truly aligns with your values.
And as we often say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So what will your first step be?
That's a great question to ponder. And before you go, don't forget to like this episode and share it with anyone who might be contemplating their own career reinvention. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Thanks for listening.